Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Pony 411. This is number 302 for December 8th, 2020. I am Nemesis and I am joined by Alca7raz.
Hello.
Yeah, pony stuff is still as slow as ever because, well...
Well, there is no show. Well, okay, there is a show going on right now, but
it's in hiatus right now.
Pony Life is airing in the U.S., but we've already watched
It's in hiatus right now.
So, yeah.
For our intents and purposes, it's on hiatus.
Yeah.
If you want to hear what we thought about it, you could go check out the past few episodes. They're pretty clear to see. I mean, they're the ones with the Pony Life thumbnails and whatnot.
For all intensive purposes.
Oh, God. Yeah, we do have some news, of course. Not as
There's
not
a
much.
fair amount of... Yeah, there's a decent amount of...
For a whole month's
merch
worth, is actually not
news.
that much, but, compared to like what we get normally during a week, it'd be a lot. But, we got that. We got some stuff to talk about, including new comic and a little bit of fan content at the end to wrap things up. So I guess we'll go ahead and get started with things. So if you want to follow along with the news, go to pony411.libsyn.com/show notes. It's spelled LABSYN. If you want to go there and click links to get more information, because we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on this. So we'll start off with convention news, and it's Epona Fest is a new con that's been announced that will be happening on October 2nd and 3rd in 2021, hopefully, in the Star Hotel's Business Palace in Milan, Italy. I say hopefully because if we're going to be honest, there's a very good chance that there will still be no conventions this coming year either, even with vaccines and stuff.
Yeah.
Because it still might be still a little sketchy to try to have a massive gathering of people like that.
Yeah, it really all depends on how things go.
So just be prepared for the idea that you still won't be able to do a convention this coming year either.
Yeah.
Even the ones that have been announced.
Though who knows? Maybe better chance over there than over here.
Yep, depends. Fandom news and whatnot. Ponies at Dawn Introspection is now out. That is another album from the Ponies at Dawn group. So yeah, lots of new songs there and or new songs, some old songs.
Yep.
So there you go.
Some new, some rebooting songs.
Oh, name your price for it. So there you go.
Yeah, name your price. All the Ponies at Dawn stuff are name your price.
Merchandise news though. Funko is releasing G1 Pop figures and they're up for pre-order if you want to buy them and look at them and be a little disturbed by them. Yeah, they've been announced they're up for pre-order.
G1 Pop style.
Toy Wiz has listed Best Hair Day and Smash and Fashion MLP toys, and the Smash and Fashion toys are apparently semi-anthro, as in they're upright horses, no hands.
Yeah, that's bipedal. Bipedal semi-anthro. It's an odd one.
Yeah, it's a weird decision to make. I'm not sure why they went with that, but sure, I guess.
Sure.
They could have included more shoes if they just made them on stand on all four legs.
Yeah, but they still do dresses, because, I mean, these ones have dresses. I don't know. They just want to change it up.
Also, don't buy things from Toy Wiz, because they are overpriced, always.
Oh, yeah, Toy Wiz does overprice their stuff.
Yeah, even for stuff that's brand new and whatnot, and not re-spot from elsewhere.
Yeah.
And Mighty Jaxx and other online stores have put up pre-orders for their Princess Celestia X-Ray Plus figure, which is, if you remember those little X-Ray figures that came out, now this is a massive one.
Yeah.
How big is this?
I was shocked.
8.5 inches tall.
Yeah.
It's about $150.
Oh, yes, and one thing on the previous one.
Yeah.
Sunset Shimmer.
Yeah, that was the other thing, Sunset. She already knew she was getting toys, so it's like, I'm guessing she's actually going to appear in Pony Life for real.
Maybe season 2.
Well, that's my guess.
Yeah.
She might actually for real appear in it, which that'd be great, because, hey, Sunset.
You want your Sunset.
And the Twister crossover pony Right Hoof Red has appeared at GameStop.
Yeah. I'm waiting for that one, sort of. Waiting to see that one show up, I should say.
Home Depot is a giant inflatable Pinky for the holidays. Not quite as good as a giant skeleton, but still.
Yes. I should really get that one. I've got a great place to put it up, too.
This Pinky is 3.5 feet tall. So, pretty much, I guess, life size.
Life size, because they are little ponies. 3 feet is perfect.
And No Ideas and Sega Toys announced Equestria Girls acrylic stand characters. Yeah, there's these little bit. Yeah, it's Just little display things. Little acrylic standees.
Ah, yes. Like little paper cutout standees, except not paper.
Yeah. This is very common for like anime characters and whatnot. In fact, it's usually kind of the bare basics for any sort of merchandising. This and like things like charms and keychains and whatnot. That's basically, you get that stuff. And and if it gets really popular, then you get Nendos and Figmas and stuff.
Yeah.
Which I don't think we're going to get, unfortunately, for MLP. We talked about that a long time ago. The idea of like, oh, man, it'd be nice if we got a Figma or something of MLP characters.
You know, I think we've brought up the desire for a Nendo or a Figma pony thing a few times.
That was that one in particular, that one episode in particular, we really wanted, we talked about it in depth. The Mlp Papercraft book has finally been released. I remember I pre-ordered that, and then my pre-order got canceled because Tfaw decided we're not going to carry it after all.
Oh.
So I have to order from Amazon. Do they still have it in stock? Yes, they do. It's only $11. Papercraft.
Not
based
bad. Some
on the manga designs.
Don't cut yourself.
Let's see, who do you get? A lot.
A lot.
All the main six, of course, and Spike, and Celestia, Luna, Cadence, Shining Armor, Trash, Trixie, Big Macintosh, Zecora, Scootaloo, Sweetie Belle, Apple Bloom, Flurry Heart.
And I noticed that Trash in there.
What? No, talking about.
Yes, all of my friends, and Spike.
And finally, for merchandise, you can ride a pony if you're small. Because there's a Huffy motorized quad thing. With little stubby legs and
really stubby legs.
Wheels on the hooves. And there's Pinky and Twilight, and you can ride. They're about $95 a pop.
I was seeing those, and I'm reminded there's some YouTube channels out there. There was a challenge a while back by a bunch of people who make stuff that took those like the rideable truck things, the kids ones,
Power Wheels,
like Jeeps. Yeah, Power Wheels. That took Power Wheels like things, and souped them up and put real engines in them.
Oh Jesus!
So now I'm thinking this.
Those are really small.
So were the Power Wheels. They made them bigger.
Yeah, but these are even...
Cut them up and made them, but it was something similar. Maybe not exactly the same, but maybe take a smaller but way more powerful electric motor or something like that. I'm just imagining someone doing something similar to this.
These
and
are
it's
small
just
enough that, like, I suspect even if you did that, it would still collapse under an adult's weight.
Oh, most of these, the framing is all completely brand new, and it's just the outside slapped on the side. So basically, it would be chopped in half and the head stuck on the hood.
Oh, fun. Morbid.
A bit.
Maybe it's just easier at that point, just make your own.
I had the same thought, too, but people still did it.
Comic solicitations for February of 2021 are out, and includes Friendship is Magic number 95. And see, Kentrala in Crisis, with the sound off, an invasive Muffletta moss growing by the second, and Pinkie Pie and Cheese Sandwich race to find a solution before the festival of the two sisters is ruined.
Oh no.
Huh, how about that?
Muffletta moss.
Yeah, Muffletta.
There is an L in there.
Yes, there is. That's why
People
I got tripped up.
People putting L's right after an F is a horrible thing.
Well, you gotta
it's like putting an R. It's like putting an It's like putting an N right after an R. You know, it was Stern Cornmunity.
Oh. And in Friendship is Magic-ish, some kind of sort of news. Hello Pinkie Pie episode released and then made private. Oops. And then it sort of came out anyway.
Yeah.
I say sort of because it's unlisted, but we have the link.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what Hasbro's
it sort
doing.
of came out.
It's sort of.
It's about sweaters. Lying on the floor, come undone. Anyway, yeah, that's the news.
That's the news.
So some stuff, mostly merchandise, not surprising. They've still got to keep those toys going. Got to buy those toys.
Yep.
Although, did you hear about that? Apparently a shipping bunch of stuff on a boat going to the sea, including stuff from Hasbro.
Oh, I think I saw a quick snap of that. I didn't really pay much attention to it, but yeah,
I saw it because
like almost as bad as it could get. The only thing worse would have been a total loss of everything. It's like the ship went down.
Yeah, I only found out because Transformers forum, everyone's like, "Oh my god!" Let's see. 1,900 containers might be lost.
Yeah.
Well,
stack them really high.
let's see, including
There's
things
no
like
walls to hold
UPS,
it in.
DHL, and Hasbro.
Mm-hmm.
And the worst possible timing, too. Because right before Christmas.
Oof. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to play out, but they don't even know what's actually lost yet. They have to still figure that out.
Yep.
So we'll find out, I guess. Anyway.
I guess.
Moving on from all that stuff. We do have a new comic to talk about. Next part of season 10, I guess. The next episode, because we're going to call issues and episodes. I finally, I guess, been listening to Alcatraz a lot about that.
Yes, I was a trendsetter. That's what I'm going to go with.
Yeah, sure.
It was not a mistake. I just saw into the future.
Anyway, so issue number 91, which has singing apparently in it.
Has singing, yes.
Yes, this continued adventures of Zakora, the new friends, Applejack, and Tempest, and Rockhoof.
And Rockhoof.
Who's also in this story. Yeah, the new friends who I barely remember the names of.
Yep. I haven't had enough time to get to know
Also,
them.
it's been like a month. But anyway, we have a little bit of a
Yes.
flashback with Zakora and the friends, and they're trekking through the desert and whatnot. And there's some goofy little bits. And they, have some, of course, encounter some perils and obstacles, including a ravine and a rock. Like the mythical bird rock, not rock.
ROC rock.
And also, I think the monster they actually been looking for anyway.
Yep. And a temple.
Yeah. And also they sing music, but we have no idea what it sounds like because, well, it's a comic book, and comic books typically do not have sound.
Yeah, usually.
The thing here is, like, it's kind of all right, but I'm starting to feel like this is just, look, it's the main six, but, different species again. Because they keep talking about loyalty and honesty, and it's like,
Yep, especially with the ending of this particular comic. It's like,
Yep. Is it really a good idea to go ahead and let's just recycle the base concept of the show for a whole new set of characters, just like that? I don't know. I'm not the writer, but whatever.
Yeah. I mean, the execution's all right.
Yeah.
I'll give him that, but yeah. It's got singing, it's got dancing, it's got friendship.
Yeah, there's also Tempest and what's their face, that Icy.
Ah, yes, one of the Kelpies.
Yeah, they're bonding.
They're bonding in the best of ways.
Yeah.
They're not. It gave me strong vibes of workplace acquaintances.
Yeah.
We still never write sometimes. Still never talk. That's what the phrase was. Some Ron Swanson.
I had a friend, I said a total of 5 sentences to the guy, best friend I ever had.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's, I don't know. I'm at that point of like, I think it depends on how this all wraps up and stuff, but I'm a little, I don't know about this one. It's like, I feel like it's trying too hard to just mimic the main six in a way.
Yeah, that's my worry. I mean, it still has at least one. How many more episodes? Yeah, see?
Yeah. Well, it's
how
technically
many more
is
in this
episodes.
arc? Yeah, how many more in this?
I think either one or two. I can't remember because
so it's got at least one more, so it might not fully go down that road.
Yeah.
So I don't want to make a judgment call on that yet.
But I am concerned.
But yes, it is giving me a frighten.
Also,
not really a frighten, but
Kiss reference.
Not just.
Yeah.
There's a big Kiss reference, but I mean, Zakora has Freddie Mercury too.
Yeah. Also, that one pony keeps randomly showing up in the Andy Price drawn stuff. Popped up again. The one with the hat and the suit.
I wonder if that's his OC.
He first appeared back in the Reflections arc, I think. And yeah, ever since then, it's like he just keeps popping up randomly. And it's like, what are you doing there, Andy? Are you trying to have like your own version of the Observers or something?
It's just self-insert, just sticking himself into the story.
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot to mention this. But yeah, it was still written by Jeremy Whitley and with art by Andy Price and colors by Heather Breckle as usual.
Yeah.
So there's
It looks really good.
Yeah, of course it looks good. It looks good. There's again some good jokes here and there, again, and some good faces. Applejack making some good faces, including just when Rockhoof that's a hole. Thank you, Rockhoof.
Thank you for your expert.
Yeah, so some good bits, but I'm just a little concerned.
Yeah, and don't forget Tempest's faces during this.
That too.
The
we have to
the
sing.
song, the big musical number.
Yeah, Tempest. Why am I even here? I'll just hurt them. No, don't do that. But then why am I here?
Why? And then finally, when the big bad shows up, my time has come.
Finally. Clobbering time.
Yep.
So it's still at this point, it's like it's kind of really, I think, coming down to how it pulls, if it sticks the landing or not.
Yeah. How does it stick the landing? Is it just going to be a rehash, or what are we going to do here?
Yeah, we'll find out.
Yep.
Unless the Camel series gets canceled. Bum, bum, bum.
That would suck.
Actually, at this point,
it's not great, at least it's something.
At this point, well, at least everything's been announced. We'll get it come out at the very least, probably. Unless IDW completely dies.
Yeah, I don't think they're in that much trouble. They're just going to suddenly die like that.
IDW is in constant trouble. That's the thing.
Yeah, but I said that much.
I've seen some of the numbers.
Who knows?
Great.
Who knows? Hopefully not.
We'll see. Anyway, on to our main discussion, which is something I kind of had planned for, like possible convention stuff, but conventions didn't really happen and didn't really sign up for any of the online stuff. So, well, just kind of turn into a podcast topic anyway. Why not?
And speaking of online conventions,
yeah, TrotCon Snow Day's happening.
TrotCon. Yeah, it's happening right now.
That's the thing. Yeah. So what we're going to talk about is actually, well, hey, Equestria Girls. Specifically, how I feel kind of Equestria Girls failed to live up to its potential. Honestly.
What do you mean? Equestria Girls was absolutely perfect and the best show ever, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it.
Okay, brony.
Not careful now. don't.
So the thing is, okay, I'll go to free hits. Yes, overall I do like Equestria Girls. It has a lot of good moments. It brought us Sunset Shimmer, and so on and so forth. And there's some good bits, lots of good bits about it. But I feel a lot of things, and we've kind of touched on bits and pieces of this at different times when we're talking about Equestria Girls stuff. But I feel like it didn't quite live up to its potential, and largely I feel because they were almost scared to go down the road they're clearly going down. If that makes sense? Because I think the biggest thing is between Legend of Everfree and the following magic shorts, like the Dance Magic and Mirror Magic and all those. Those two in particular really had a big setup for the rest of the I guess, quote-unquote series or franchise, that part of the franchise, and then just never really followed up on it except for occasionally touching on it in the specials, and then it was kind of became too little too late because it just got canceled out of nowhere.
Yeah.
The big thing is the superhero / the geode powers and all that stuff, and that never really went anywhere.
Kind of fizzled out.
Yeah, and we remember we were talking about, like, after Legend of Everfree, we actually had this whole second episode basically just us kind of getting all excited about the idea of where they could take this.
Yeah, I remember that. Somewhat. I remember it's horrible.
It was a while ago. It was a while ago. It was like, what, 2016?
Ugh.
Oh, yeah, it was. Wow, that was like 2016. Holy crap.
Dear God. That was 4 years ago. Instant aging.
Yeah, that was a while ago. Yeah. And I think that's the single biggest thing, is that they never went anywhere. And I think part of that is because, I don't know whose idea it was, but the big thing was, well, their decision to go to like 3 to 5 minute shorts.
Yeah, that really hurt it to do something.
I think actually overall, I think that hurt Equestria Girls in general. Not just we really want superheroes and stuff. It was just, I think that's what caused the franchise, that part of the franchise in general, to just suffer. They couldn't do anything.
Yeah, I don't know why. Sometimes you have stuff that works for that.
Mm-hmm.
Pony Life is questionable whether that worked. I don't want to say it did or didn't in that format. Parts of it could have, and kind of, but parts of it didn't. That's a weird one, so we're just not going to go there. But Equestria Girls and the whole thing that it set up, and we had movies, full-length movies, multiple in a row with detailed storylines.
And build up.
And then suddenly, yeah, build up and open ends and this world that we could work within, and then jump to short, really short shorts like
which are
that.
essentially also all completely independent, and so thus they had to have us tell a really basic story, and often just setting up for a punchline, or it's just a music video, which I don't mind the music videos, but
yeah, that's fine. But yeah, it's for really short episodes like that, you can't have, at least not easily, this you can't do serious things. There's not enough time.
And then there's also the choose your ending stuff, which I think made it worse, because now you can't really do anything with that. You're dedicating resources to something you can't really do anything with because the multiple choice format and everything.
Yep, you end up using multiples of your runtime to do the same thing.
Yep. And the problem there is that the stories got even more basic because they had to leave time to just have the wrap up. And often it was just kind of like, yeah, that was very all right. We had that problem of just, yeah, that's kind of all right, I guess.
Yep. There's nothing to talk about. There's nothing interesting about them. A short 3 to 5 minute episode is only good for maybe a quick laugh.
Yeah, and which is fine and all to a degree, but it's also really hard for us to talk about.
There's nothing inherently wrong with 3 to 5 minute shorts. The question isn't whether they're good or bad in themselves, it's whether they work for the story that you're using them with. And I think with Equestria Girls, with what they had set up, the expectations of Equestria Girls that they had set up do not work with 3 to 5 minute shorts.
Yeah, because like Pony Life again that was from the get go was these very short episodes, so it works in that regard because it was geared for that. Versus Equestria Girls was very much seemed to be geared for something else, and then they suddenly had to. We're just going to really basic slice of life stuff that doesn't really have any bearing on anything.
Yep,
and then we get the interspersed with the longer specials, which did do bigger things, and those are so you notice how excited everyone was for the special. I remember people were initially excited when they heard Equestria Girls episodes, and there's going to be 90 of them. We were like, oh my gosh, what? And then we found out,
we thought we were going to get an actual series,
and then they're like 3 minutes long. Oh,
it's like,
you could just
way to build us up.
Feel the disappointment from the fandom when we found that out.
What's that quote about? Dash them quite expertly.
You raised my hopes and dashed them quite expertly. Bravo!
Bravo! Yes, that's basically what happened.
Yeah, and I was kind of excited until I found, these are going to be shorts, aren't they? Oh, crap. And I feel like they could have, if they wanted to do these shorts, they could have, instead of doing these weird standalone things, they could have made them serialized instead, and that would have at least preserved a semblance of a story instead of like nothing.
Yeah, at least try to have some like story between the episodes. It's hard to do, but it would have been better than what we got.
I always meant to do the math because I wanted to see how much how many minutes of animation they did total for all these shorts, and like they probably could have done like a 12, 13 episode half season thing or whatever. And like
with the amount of animation time they had.
And then they could have actually told a comprehensive story, because that was the other thing, was like we saw bits and pieces of it in the special, but the specials would always focus on whatever was going on there, but but they didn't really get into the powers a whole lot until the spring breakdown, really.
Right, yeah.
And that was when they just kind of got into barely getting into the idea of, hey, they could be heroes.
Yeah.
Just barely getting into that.
It would be a fairly good idea.
Yeah, because I think that was seemingly the direction they're going, was like the superhero / magical girl thing. Because the magical girl concept was kind of there from the first Equestria Girls movie, if we're going to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of did the entire, transformation sequences and everything.
Yeah, and then Rainbow Rocks and so on and so on kind of kept it going, and clearly they had a plan for it. I mean, Nick Confalone even kind of admitted that they had a plan for an eventual finale, and they're writing it, and then hey, guess what? You were canceled. So nope. So we just got a Christmas compilation thing.
Yeah, it sucks. There was potential.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been a lot better. There's stuff to work with. I'm really curious as to why. What prompted the push to the short episodes. I don't think we'll ever really know.
Well, who knows? We might be able to eventually start asking, poking in at conventions or online or otherwise, and they might start being yeah, I can talk about that.
Yeah.
Emmy Larson's been increasingly more open about his time working on Friendship is Magic. So we might be able to eventually get answers about like what exactly happened. And heck, we might be able to ask Nick Conflone, hey, what was your plan for the defendant finale anyway?
What did you actually want to do?
Apparently they're already writing it, so it's like, okay, what was your plan? How are you going to wrap it all up? Because you only had 40 minutes to do it. So because I thought for sure, because it seemed to be established. That seemed to be the direction they're going in, which was, okay, they have superpowers now, thanks to the geodes and everything. Yep. And we established, oh yeah, there's a crack in the statue at the school, which is letting magic into the world. So I thought it was going to be a thing like, they're going to be constantly fighting, magically infected entities and whatnot.
I'm just thinking Flex Seal.
Oh.
Just slap some Flex Seal on it.
Done.
Problem solved.
And I think that was going to be the idea. I think that seems to be the idea they're going in, which is they're going to be constantly fighting corrupted magic things and whatnot, people.
Yeah, that's. I remember us talking about that too. It's like, oh, that's what it looks like it's going to do, and I really wish they did.
And mirror magic was kind of the first instance, although that didn't really go very well for multiple reasons. But
could have gone better.
Yeah, it could have. But then we had later stuff like Wallflowers abusing a magical artifact. She's not necessarily malicious. She's just trying to hide her embarrassing moments, and not really thinking about the full extent of it until they did get kind of malicious.
Yeah, remember there is a difference between a villain and an antagonist.
There was the roller coaster of friendship with I'm just going to change the world around me to match what I want.
Bend the world to your will.
Dear. Well, kind of. It was
That's
weird.
What it is.
Faux hologram thing.
Yeah.
Spring Break didn't really have an antagonist. Just crap, the ship's going is a disaster.
Yeah, that one. The antagonist was
the storm.
The storm, I guess.
Which there was no real
storm, which was. That was Wendigos, if I remember correctly. It was either Wendigos or it was meant to reference Wendigos.
Yeah, it was kind of. Then they had the Storm King's staff somehow.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was Storm King's staff.
And that was, so it was like there wasn't really a antagonist.
Wasn't really explained.
And then you had the time travel, the Groundhog Day thing, and that was kind of a accidental. Like we were just trying to make our set perfect, and then I'm just caught up in it somehow.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just kind of disappointing that they never really went anywhere with this stuff, and they had it all the parts were there. They just kind of didn't touch on it. Heck, one of the shorts did kind of touch on it, or a couple times. Like there was one. Remember, Sunset's powers went into overdrive, and all of them went. Then turned out all of them went into overdrive.
Yeah,
I think it was overpowered.
Yeah, and it was because Dash was just I think it was Dash who was running around a lot.
Dash was using him too much, so it kind of somehow overcharged everyone. So okay, I guess. And then they had the whole thing where it's like Sunset's drawing a comic of them being superheroes. Like, oh come on, guys.
Yeah,
you gave us exactly what we wanted. And then
that's
it's fiction. It's fake.
It was fiction. It's fake. It's not what we're actually doing. It's like.
Oh my gosh! It's just
Give us that, please.
Please, I need this. It's just really frustrating that this is how they decided to do things, and because again, all that potential is there. I've seen a lot of fanfics kind of start poking at this idea of them being superheroes, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's really what I want. Like you mentioned, and they brought up the crack and such magic leaking in, and they have to basically keep it under control, sort of.
And the idea is I like the idea that they're having to go around finding old magic artifacts that Star Swirl dumped in this world, and all that stuff.
So active leaking. So things that are still actively coming out of the statue, stuff that has already been there for a while that Star Swirl dumped, and there's so many things you could do with that.
Mm-hmm. All sorts of weird stuff.
You could bring up some pretty deep subjects too, like whether you should or shouldn't in some cases.
Yeah. And heck, they could have even had the oh hey, I don't know, they could have had that. I remember resurrected that old plot thread that was abandoned in Friendship Games from For Sunset of whether I should stay or go.
Should I stay or should
Yeah,
I go
exactly.
now?
Should I stay? Should I go? That whole thing, because it's like, hey, guess what? You being, they could even like, you're technically magical and magical thing. You shouldn't be here.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh.
Except that they all have magic
Kinda.
now, so does that mean that even the humane 6 shouldn't be there anymore
I don't know.
either?
Or it's just the only reason they have is because there's, I don't know, magic. I don't know. The way magic
that's
is
the point.
weird.
But that's the
But
point, though. Is those questions could actually be
answered.
brought up. Yeah.
And answered.
And maybe not even answered, but grappled with,
Or-
and come to the conclusion of, we don't have a good answer.
Yeah. Or even having the question of how come magic seems to corrupt everything except the humane 7.
Because they are actually corrupt.
Oh.
You are the demons.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be an interesting thing? It's like, it turns
that
out,
could be one. The only reason magic is leaking into this world is because they are there.
Yeah.
So, do you stay and keep your powers and continue to work to stop bad things from happening, or do you give them up to stop them from happening in the first place?
Yeah. Yeah, they could have done a lot with this stuff, and they had the setup. All the pieces were in place, and heck, this was in the, this is like, they're doing the whole superhero thing, like, would have been good timing, because superheroes are kind of a big deal right now, and have been for the last decade or so.
Yep, they were, especially back then, they were really, really big.
Mm-hmm.
I think some people, it's still really big, and people still do like them, though I think some people are getting tired of constantly new Avengers over and over again.
Well, some people, but they don't seem to be the ones going to the
but
theater.
It's still really, really popular.
They're still doing really gangbusters. It's not like everyone keeps saying. I remember leading up to Avengers, some people were predicting, Avengers ain't going to do that. Infinity War ain't going to do that. Well, people are getting sick and tired of superhero movies. So what happens? Endgame broke box office records.
Yeah. Yep.
Barely, but it did it.
So there's still plenty of popularity.
Yeah, that was the other thing. Was these shorts were hitting right at the build up to this sort of stuff. So people would have been into this. Like, come on, Hasbro, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I suspect this is largely was some executive like, I want you guys to do 3-minute shorts now.
And that's what I would really like to know. Maybe they were seeing something in the data that would possibly suggest otherwise.
I'm guessing
I know it's really tough because you have to look at data that's happening right now to make a decision on something that won't happen for like a year.
Yeah. And that's the other thing is I think part of the reason was they're just trying to push into YouTube streaming stuff. That was a big thing. And they realized, that whole thing is they got to be short because the kid ain't going to pay attention to very often to a 40-minute thing on YouTube. Yeah. Most kids aren't going to be paying attention to a 40-minute thing. It's like, but then they split up the specials into those 10-minute ones anyway. So it's like, what's the problem here?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that was part of it, and that's part of the reason that Pony Life is the way it is because they want to have it YouTube friendly.
Yeah, that could be it.
Which is really disappointing, and it's like it doesn't seem to have worked very well anyway.
No, I don't think so. At least not as far as we can tell.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And then of course they killed the toy line, or at least the good part of the toy line.
And that's another one. I don't know what the marketing numbers are for different demographics. Yeah. All I can hear is the people that I listen to.
Yep.
So only a part of similar demographics to me, really. And I don't know what it's like in the actual target demographic. I don't know. Maybe things are different there.
Yeah.
Maybe they aren't. I don't know.
And also, I think that part of the problem with the minis is they didn't sell well because the distribution was sucked. You can't buy them if you can't find them, regardless of who you are.
Yeah.
Because remember, that whole last wave didn't even come out in the U.S. Never able to get the Sunset and Twilight amusement park figures because they just didn't come out in the U.S.
Yeah. And I know, like, the stuff that we are really into, our demographics, they do sell. They do sell fairly well, but you have to do, like, different things, smaller quantities, higher price points. So, like, the Kotobukiya ones, those are selling.
$100 each, but they're selling.
Everyone loves those, but not the target demographic of the show.
Yeah. I think one other thing that actually hurt it, and this is kind of another thing, which is they're really messy releases for the shorts in particular. they were a mess because it would sometimes just randomly pop on the Discovery Family app with no warning. They're just there. You got all of a sudden like 10 new episodes on there, and then they would premiere on YouTube 3 or 4 months later.
Yeah. Yep. I think it's one of those that I want to say is possibly an executive thing, especially with the app, the Discovery Family app. Someone maybe in Discovery, maybe not a Hasbro thing, or maybe some weird agreement in executives between them, really wanted to push their app, which seemed to be quite common just across the board in all companies.
Yep.
Just really want to push their apps because, data collection is key. And I think that really hurt it as well. Again, it contributed to what you just said, the messy releases.
So it's like you had people like, I had a friend, she had no idea that they already had been out for months. She just found them randomly on YouTube thanks to the I guess, algorithm or something. She finally found them on YouTube and was like, that's been out for like 5 months. Did this just come out on YouTube? Yeah. Oh, wow. She had no idea. So it was weird. And yeah, and then on top of that, the specials also had sometimes a bit of a messy release as well. So I don't know. It's like they didn't know what to do with the franchise. And I think they realize I think they're trying to simultaneously aim at the same demographic as Friendship is Magic and an older demographic, and it wasn't working.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I think they realized there's some weird numbers. They couldn't get the numbers they wanted, and so they just killed the whole thing. That's almost wouldn't surprise me. This happened a lot. We're like, oh hey, this thing's popular with this demographic we are not aiming at all. So rather than shifting towards that demographic, let's just kill it.
Yep. I don't know how to handle this. Just make it go away.
Yeah. So yeah, because Equestria Girls, I think it was supposed to be aimed at older kids, and then they started to aim at younger kids again with the shorts. And it's also funny. I remember finding out that in Japan, for example, Friendship is Magic was nowhere near as popular as Equestria Girls. So Equestria Girls was way more popular because the nature of it, because the nature of things, talking animal anime made for really little kids, which Friendship is Magic is kind of made for little kids.
It is kind of made for little kids.
But anime about high schoolers, that tends to be aimed
super
at
popular.
Preteens and teenagers. So, I wonder which ones these two are going to be popular.
Yep. The high school anime girl is incredibly popular.
Yeah. Let's talk about those elsewhere.
Yeah.
New to Weeaboo. Hint, hint, plug.
Plug. We can plug our own shows, right? Of course. Shameless self-plug.
Of course. But I think that's the big thing is just messy releases. They didn't know how to handle the new demographic shifts possibly, and just simply they botched the whole storyline thing. And I suspect this is executive meddling. Just do the shorts. But what about our story? I don't care about your story. Just do the shorts. So we got to push the YouTube channel.
Yep, because most of the executive stuff, because at the executive level, that's not the story is not your worry.
You're just scared. How many toys are we selling?
And the numbers. Business, numbers.
Is it working?
Yes. But that's all that the executives really see. The story, they don't care what you do with the story as long as it gives them the numbers. And if they're not seeing the numbers, do something else.
Yeah, I think that was the other thing. I think the third and fourth movies also had a bit of diminishing returns in the sense that they were less popular overall. In part because word of mouth got around, they're not as good as the second one and whatnot. Because the thing is, after a while, it's common consensus was the second one's the best one of the movies, Rainbow Rock.
Definitely up there, yeah.
Of the 4 Equestria Girls movies.
Of the 4, they're definitely.
But then, and of course,
generally accepted.
Yeah, and then you got the specials, which people really liked. Forgotten Friendship the most, and then the other ones were kind of good. And you got the Groundhog Day one. Now I don't remember what that one's called, but yeah, that was also really popular. And the other one was other two where people were about. And what most people remember Roller Coaster Friendship is Radiarc.
Oh, of course, it's the shipping. That's all I really remember of it.
I barely remember there was a villain. There was a villain? Oh, right.
Well, yeah, the Instagram, what's her face?
Exactly. It's a V name. That's all I remember.
Yeah. V. Not that V.
The old mini.
Don a Guy Fawkes mask.
Not the other V where, it's the aliens in the miniseries. That old thing.
That old thing. I think V for Vendetta, but whatever.
Honestly, it's just really disappointing that we just never got any real satisfying conclusion to the whole thing.
Yeah, we didn't get a satisfying conclusion. We didn't get a satisfying lead up to our lack of conclusion either.
We just kind of got a whole bunch of sorts that didn't really have any relevance. And on top of that, some of them got sabotaged by YouTube's change in policy because they had the whole choose your ending thing, which was killed because you can't put those video links in the video anymore.
Yep.
So that killed that whole thing. Oh, well.
Well, that's actually a pretty good point of advice. Don't ever build a system that relies on a feature that Google made staying around.
Yeah.
Because they'll kill it after they make like 30 alternatives, which they'll all kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just really disappointing that it just never got to where it could have gone. And I mostly blame Hasbro.
Yep, blame the executives.
Yeah,
they're good group to blame.
It's usually their fault anyway.
Usually.
Gotta touch old white men. They're out to blame for a lot of things, actually.
They deserve I think the vast majority of the problems that are going on can be laid at the feet of rich old white men.
So I guess we'll go ahead and move on, to the fan content. And again, if you want to check these songs out and whatnot, you can go to pony411.libsyn.com/show-notes. Links will be there to the full thing if you want to give them a listen. Anyway, take it away.
So yes, I have 2 songs that I wanted to feature this month. And the first one is Radiarcs, There. This is, it's a Radiarc song, so it's definitely different. This one it's calm and mellow, but it's got this sort of wondrous tone to it, feeling emotion. Also a little bit on the dark-ish emotion as well. It's a lot of interesting things kind of bubbling underneath of it. It's also got this vastness to its feel. It's big, except also mellow and calm at the same time. It's really hard to put real words to it. It's just something you listen to and feel. I really like it. Radiarc's stuff is really good if you like this sort of stuff. And the guitar work in it is amazing, and the strings, I love a good set of strings.
Yeah. My thing was I got kind of a bit of on a journey vibe. The feeling of it is just
Which is interesting because there's a sort of a quote unquote story on the YouTube thing that is sort of a journey-esque thing.
Another thing, also strong Western vibes with that guitar work.
I didn't quite get that, but I think I may have a different idea of what that sounds like.
To me, that's what I kind of got out of it. Not like country music, but like you watch a Western, that sort of thing, and it's like you're riding out in the desert on a horse with no name.
Yeah. A horse with no name. Yeah, but it is good. I do really like it. Go check it out. The next one is Bank Pain and Haiti's Shellshock Café.
that 5 times fast.
Shellshock Cafe, yes. Smooth, mellow, flowing D&B. Because it's Bank Pain in Haiti, so it's gonna be some D&B. But it's also got this dark, mysterious tension underlying the entire thing. It is really, really good. I love it. And it's actually part of an album that Bank Pain just put out called The Long Defeat, which is a whole story. There's actually a story that goes with it, like a fanfic that goes with it. And it's really good. All of them are really good.
They did a nice job going between the more laid-back parts and the more energetic bits. Because it would go between those. And it did a really good job of transitioning. No real sudden weirdness. I've heard some songs that don't really do it well.
That just kind of jump between the two.
Yeah, and again, it's also pretty good D&B there.
Yep. Really good. Really like it.
So, yeah. That's the music.
That's the music.
Yeah, fanfiction. I got nothing new, no updates, nothing new. But there is a thing I want to share with you, which is not in the news because this is where I want to put it, so shut up. It's a fanfic book printing of the Enchanted library.
Ah, yes.
It's up for pre-order right now. It's supposed to come out early next year, although there's warning that you might not see it till April, which, okay. It's about $60. Let's see. It's two books, around 500 pages each, 20 color illustrations, and what kind of soft touch lamination. They say kind of like velvet. So it's a really good set for $60. That's not a bad
it's not too bad
deal. I'm thinking about getting it because I really like that story.
Yeah, I wonder if it does well enough if we'll get a set for the sequel when that
wouldn't
finishes.
surprise me.
Would not surprise me either.
They have the cover on the website to order. They have a cover for both. Yeah, they have both covers, and it's a wraparound cover and everything for both of them. And they're claiming they're going to start shipping them out on January 15th. But again, it might take a while.
Might take a while. Got to get it. Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, but $60 for 2 large hardcovers of low print numbers, that's actually a pretty good deal, especially with color illustrations and everything like that.
Yeah, those bring up the price.
And it's a really good fanfic.
It is.
So I just want to point that out to you guys in case you're thinking about it. You can still order at this point in time. So that's it for this episode.
That's all.
The last episode for Pony 411 of 2020.
May 2020 die in a fire.
Please. The dumpster fire that it started. It can die in it.
Yep.
But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can check out past and future podcast episodes. We are at pony411.libsyn.com. If you want to check that out, you can subscribe there, do the RSS feed and whatnot. And you can also check out all the buttons at the top, which take you to all the other destinations of this podcast if you want to go that way. There's, of course, Deezer, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. You can check us out on any of those. Click those links or search for us and search for Pony411. Click subscribe. Click and like and comment as well on YouTube. All that stuff. Yes. Keep up with us if you want. We're still doing the pony thing for as long as we can, although even if we are sometimes feel like we're scraping the bottom of the barrel for topics. Yeah, we're realizing, oh crap, we're in the bottom, aren't we? What can we do? But anyway.
We'll keep going. We'll figure things out
as they keep going. You also find us on Ponyville Live for now.
That site's in a weird state of limbo right now.
It's a zombie site. As I've said before, it is a zombie site. It exists, but
it is a zombie.
It's not being actively updated and it's kind of broken.
Yep.
But yeah, you can still find us there along with other podcasts, I guess, and radio stations, and one of those is still Ponyville FM, where you can find us every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. At this point, it repeats because, we only come out once a month.
We're only putting new episodes out.
We only come out once a month right now, so if you miss this 1 week, don't worry. We'll be on again and again and again.
And again.
Yes, you can check us out there. We can also check out a bunch of other music on there and live DJs and whatnot throughout the rest of the week if you'd like.
It's also where Ponies at Dawn tends to do their release parties.
If you want to keep up with that stuff, if they ever announce a release party, you probably should check out Ponyville FM on a Saturday usually.
Yep.
So you can also contact us, though, if you want to, say things. So you can do so via email, pony411podcast@gmail.com. Questions, comments, criticisms. What did you think of this one? What did you think of Equestria Girls? Was it handled well? Was it not handled well? Did you just not care about it at all because, I don't know, no hooves?
No, hooves are better. Maybe you had wishes that you didn't see fulfilled.
Or maybe you actually liked how Equestria Girls went. I don't know.
Yeah.
Weirdo.
Hey, now.
Weirdo. But anyway, so there's that. Yeah, you can also find us on facebook.com/pony411. You can like us there. Check that out if you like, because Facebook will put up new episodes as they show up, and that's pretty much it. Because
Facebook sucks.
Yeah, Facebook sucks, and this is at this point just kind of a legacy thing, honestly.
Yeah.
But there's also that, and there's also Twitter @pony411. You can check us out there, where Twitter also sucks, but not as bad.
In different ways.
Yeah, and you can check us out there. We'll put new episodes up there as well. Sometimes retweet other things, whatnot, or just tweet about stuff. Sometimes we kind of forget that Twitter exists.
I always remember Twitter exists. Usually I'm not happy about it.
Yeah. And then, of course, there are personal Twitters. I'm at Nemesis Prime 1, and he's at Alca7raz and an underscore at the end. You just tweet pictures of Rainbow Dash and Scootaloo.
I usually just retweet pictures that I see.
So Rainbow Dash and Scootaloo.
Usually, yeah.
I do the Transformers thing still. Yes, so still doing Transformers reviews and still tweeting those out, and occasionally just random things like, hey, I'm a girl. Yeah. Just kind of being more public about that.
Yep.
Woo! But yeah, beyond that. Oh, sometimes we retweet the new to Weeaboo thing again. If you like anime, we do the new Weeaboo thing.
We are doing that one. Check us out over there.
We just talked about my next life as a villainess.
Yep.
So if you're interested in that sort of thing, that's fun. And that should be it.
Yep.
Again, this is the last episode for 2020. The next time you hear us, it'll be 2021. And we'll be talking about more pony stuff of some sort. We'll find out what that is in a month.
Yep.
So
probably.
Hope to see you then. And until that point, remember, please pony responsibly. Goodbye.
Bye.